Hi, today I'm shooting a little video to kind of answer some questions people had about burnout. And I get emails about burnout, how to avoid it, what can you do. And so this little video is just going to be about how to get yourself out of burnout, avoid it, and get yourself back in balance, which we all kind of struggle with, I think. So, first off, here is the thing that affects most of us and creates burnout. We don't know why we're doing what we're doing. Think about that, as simple as it sounds. If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, you lose intention. And instead, you gain emotion and you'll become reactive. Your life becomes just a response to outside factors. Because if I don't know why I'm doing stuff, well, now, whose responsibility is it? Well, it's my spouse, it's my kids, it's my employer, it's whoever. But I don't know why. And so I'm constantly in this loop where I feel like a cog, where I feel like I'm being manipulated, where I feel like I'm everybody's slave. And it burns us out. So we need to know why we're doing what we're doing. To create agency as a person so I can make decisions and so that I can have a life that's an action, not a reaction. As if I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, all these other factors that I can't control, people, their opinions, my employer, my spouse, I'm okay. I have an anchor almost. Moment to moment, I have an anchor. So always know why you're doing what you're doing. If you don't, then you shouldn't do it. The second thing that affects a lot of us is we measure things that we can't control. So right now I'm sitting in my office and I do therapy, I do consulting, and I work with lots of different types of people and businesses and certain things like that. Now, if I sat down today and I measured my success this week based on how many businesses called me, how many clients called me, how many offers I got for X, Y, and Z, well, then I'm putting myself at the mercy of all of those factors that I don't control because I can't make people call me. I can't force businesses to call me. But you know what I can do is I can measure the things that I can control. So this is what we do to avoid burnout, is we create a sphere of self-reinforcement. I measure what I can control only. It helps me not be distracted too much and lose momentum. So instead of me waiting around for the phone to ring or feeling beat up because nobody called me today, well, that's my fault. I should have been measuring, did I, follow up with the web designer? Did I have somebody, did I follow up on my lead? Did I do the article I said I was going to do? Did I check on, the optimization of my website? Blah, blah, blah. Those things I can measure. Did I, do whatever? Did I run? Did I call my mother? All those things that I can do, that I measure them, because that creates momentum. If you measure what's not there, or you measure things, you just destroy your momentum and motivation. So it takes a lot of people out of commission. So develop a sphere of self-reinforcement. Measure what you can control. Lastly, a lot of us struggle with falling out of balance because if we've forgotten why we do what we do, like I said, we end up cascading and losing touch with our friends, the things we love, and genuinely we stop treating ourselves well. And so we want to cultivate rituals of self-compassion which create balance. Now, there are 4 areas of our life as people. I'm sure we could say there's more, but I'm a simple man and I'm only going to say there's 4. So you can argue with me later. There's the physical body, which is your body, your health, your sleep, your eating, your diet, your exercise. So there's the physical body, that's part 1. There's part 2, which is your intellectual life, which is your mind. The stories you read, the news that you watch on TV or in the paper, social media, questions you ask, trying to perfect your craft and your career, whatever it is. But mental stimulation, your intellectual life. The third area of the human person is our emotional or our relational life. So that's our intimacy, our connectivity with other people. Do you see your friends? Do you feel like you're connected with your spouse, your children? Do you call your mother? All of those things are our emotional life. And lastly, we all have, a spiritual life, which means that we all want to transcend ourself. We want to get outside ourself, whether that's through meditation or a formal religious practice or prayer or meditation. All of those things demonstrate a desire for spiritual reality. So when we're burnt out, we don't attend to any of those four areas. And so what I ask a lot of people to do, and some actually choose to do it, is I challenge them to spend a day intentionally now, on purpose, picking things from those four areas that demonstrate that they love themselves. So they have rituals of self-compassion. So when I love myself, well, what do I do for myself physically? Well, maybe I go for a walk in the park. When I love myself, what do I do for myself, relationally? Well, I go and walk in the park and I take my wife and my kids and we talk. So I'm building my relationships and I'm getting physical exercise, right? What does it look like when I love myself, and how am I treating my mind? Well, I spend time in a good book, one that has a message of hope, or one that stretches my mind and makes me grow or challenges the way that I think. What is it, when I love myself, what am I doing spiritually? Is it that I'm volunteering, at the local soup kitchen? Is it that I'm sitting outside in a chair and I'm closing my eyes and I'm practicing meditation? Anything will do. The person has to answer what it's going to look like when they love themselves. Because remember, if we don't know how to love ourselves, the whole notion that we can really love other people is a farce. You can't love unless you know love. So please, again, in recap here, first thing, please always know why you're doing what you're doing. Maintain intention. Intention should drive your behavior to work, in your families, in child rearing, all of these things. Secondly, develop a sphere of self-reinforcement. Measure the things that you can control. Stop measuring stuff that has nothing to do with anything you can control. And lastly, come up with rituals of self-compassion. Show yourself that you love yourself to maintain balance. Okay? We are human beings, not human doings. So I hope you find this helpful.